Hi, my name's Wendy Ehrlich. I work as an intuitive coach. I'm a writer and an angel channeler. Before the lockdown, I've been in Watkins every Tuesday. We've been out of Watkins for 3 months now, and I've missed it very much. I've managed to sneak back in to make this video to talk about how to calibrate and use a pendulum. So, first of all, if you this is my pendulum. You can see it here. You can notice it's quite frayed. I use it quite a lot. I'm not necessarily using my pendulum for divination. I'm using it for insight to show me how I feel. Sometimes I use it for divination, but mostly I want it to tell me, I want it to give me a clue if there's a situation in terms of my inner self. And I use that with my clients too, because as spiritual beings having a human experience, we make manifest the divine. So a lot of it's down to us anyway, regardless of the pendulum. So it's good to know what we really think. So when you've chosen a pendulum, if you're attracted to working with one, you'll need to choose it. This one I have a lot of respect for. It's kind of, you can see, it's kind of bronzy or brass, and I think that's very ancient. So I ask it, I say to it, please will you work with me? It has a little bead at the top. You hold onto the bead, and the bead means that you don't influence it. You can hold it very still, and I'm not swaying the pendulum. It's static. And if I ask it to be still, myself in my mind, I say to it to be still, it will be still. Okay, so each time I use my pendulum, I calibrate it because I want to know what the yes and the no is. So that's the whole point. And pendulums are very, very black and white. So you have to be very careful with the questions that you ask, so not to allow any ambiguity. So if I say to this pendulum, my name is Wendy, it starts to sway backwards and forwards in front of me. My name is Wendy. I can get it to move, go on it really, like that. Okay, my name is Wendy, yeah. So undisputably, my name is Wendy. Okay, now I want it to stop. So you see, it's quite responsive to me. It will stop immediately. I want it to give it a no. So I want to know what my no is. So if I say my name is Fred, my name is not Fred. So my name is Fred. The pendulum's swaying from side to side. Okay, my name is Fred. So it's saying no. Sometimes with a client, when we work to calibrate a pendulum, it will be stop. It will be completely the opposite. My yes will be their no, and their no will be my yes. Things, as we know, are not black and white, so we want to know something about how a pendulum, if something is a possibility, a maybe. I always use the example, is chocolate good for me? Because obviously when I'm stressed, chocolate's very good for me, but actually it's also very highly calorific and it's not good for me. So if I say to my pendulum, is chocolate good for me? It will give me my maybe, which is a circle. Is chocolate good for me? So round and round, and that's the circle. So that is a few steps in terms of just knowing how to calibrate. You may find that when you first start using a pendulum that you don't get much of a go on it. It's taken me quite a long time now. I can really get this to move by asking it to. So look, if I just, and I kind of do that with my mind in a funny sort of way. If I say, please show me a yes, it will show me a yes. Sometimes the whole thing about divination is to be able to get yourself out of the way. And not have your ego intrude. So that's why it makes it more difficult working for yourself, because of course I want the pendulum to give me everything I want. So basically when I'm using it for myself, I try and really draw back, and I'm very wary. I'll ask the pendulum, and then I might look for the universe to give me another sign. You may find when you first get a pendulum, it will just move very slowly like this, a little bit here or a little bit there. See, just like a little tiny bit here, a little tiny bit there. Just keep practicing with it. I'm very respectful, because this pendulum, the metals in it were alive, were here on earth before I was born, and it's going to be here after I'm dead. I have more unanswered questions about a pendulum than I know, really. So that's a quick, easy step. So when you want to use it, you calibrate it. Show me my yes. I can actually ask it to show me my yes. Okay, stop. Show me my no. Show me my maybe. Okay. So how do you choose a pendulum? obviously you're going to be working with it, and it's got quite a lot of power if you're going to be asking it stuff. You could choose it by dowsing if you want to. So if I just put this down for a moment, if you rub your hands together and catch your chi energy, and then put your hand above the pendulums that are on sale. We have pendulums on sale in Watkins. They're not on display at the moment, but when we open on the 30th, they will be here. So you can put your hand above the pendulum, and if they're in a row, you can move your hand and see which one responds to you, or you can see where you feel warm. If I'm working with a client, and particularly if it's somebody I like, or well, I like most of my clients, let's reframe that. If I'm working with somebody I know who wants some answers, quite often I would close my eyes so that I'm not impacting on it. So I have Corrie here working with me. I'm going to ask her to ask the pendulum a question. I'm going to close my eyes and we'll see what happens. So can you, Corrie, please, can you ask a question of some sort?
Does it have to be a yes or no question?
It always has to be a yes or no.
Okay.
Because it's very, very pragmatic. It's not got much subtlety.
Okay. Will things improve in the economy soon?
Okay, so I've got my eyes closed and I don't know what's happening, but something's happening. What's it saying? It's saying maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so I think that's reflecting the ambiguity, and that we're in a situation of birthing at the moment as a new dawn, really. It can either be dystopian or liberal, and I think we need to keep fighting our corner for it to be liberal and to improve through doing work like this. Okay. Yeah. The other thing when you're using the pendulum is not to be, the pendulum is working with you, and you're consulting it in a very objective way. With all of this work in the New Age world, try and retain your own power and to not give your power away. Obviously, I'm fascinated with my pendulum and I will look at it, but it's with me. The pendulum's with me. I'm not with it. So sometimes I come across a client, or I sometimes come across people who say, well, my tarot cards were not good that day, I did not go out. This is not to stop you going out. This is because of the complexity of the human mind and how we perceive emotion. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And if you think about it, energy is emotion, is emotion, energy in motion. And so it can make it very difficult for us because sometimes we don't know what we think, or we're given lots of choices, or we may be in a time of transition and we may be in a time of fear. So we don't quite know where we're going. But you can use this to give you an inkling of where you want to go, not to say, if I was going to say, am I going to, is it safe for me to go outside today? If I ask the pendulum, is it safe for me to go outside? Okay, so the pendulum's saying no. I can make it, that might be picking up my fear that it's not safe for me to go out. So can I say, if I say, am I going to be protected if I go out? The pendulum will say yes. Okay, so it's subtle, and you kind of need to have a bond with it, and it will work with you. I have friends who will consult me regularly, and clients who consult me with the pendulum. I always say because the truth is not always the truth, and because it's complex, I always say beware, but take the insight. And sometimes the use of the pendulum is to just give you courage. So if I said, am I a successful angel channeler? Okay, so yeah, all right, it's telling me yes. So of course success is a yardstick. So in my world I'm successful. Somebody else might say, well, no, Wendy, you've got 28 followers, 28 subscribers. That's not successful, but I think I treasure the 28 subscribers. And while we're on the subject of subscribers, if you're enjoying this, please like it and please subscribe, because it's energy that comes back to me that I appreciate very much. Okay, I think I finished now with this. I'm in Watkins on a Tuesday. If you come along and you want me to help you choose a pendulum or show you how to calibrate it, I'll be there then. But the other Watkins staff, they know. They're trained in how to use a pendulum and they have different insights maybe. We have books on how to use a pendulum here too. Have fun, stay empowered, stay safe, and take good care, and may all your dreams and higher wishes come true.